pages about your anger, to be used as a study guide for Bible classes, home study, or small group study, to be a resource manual for pastors, counselors, and teachers. It is our prayer that God will use this book to help all of us face, understand, and make positive godly choices about what to do with anger. Tim Lahaye and Bob Phillips. Note of clarification about writing style. Writing is like wrestling alligators. It's an exciting and difficult task. Gene Fowler suggests that writing is easy. All you do is stare at a blank sheet of paper until drops of blood form on your forehead. Red Smith joins in by stating, "There's nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter and open a vein." When it comes to two people authoring a book, Evelyn Waugh makes the humorous observation, "Two or more people getting together to write something is like three people getting together to make a baby." The writing of Anger is a Choice was a joint effort by two friends, both of whom have been ministers, counselors, and authors of many books. We could have chosen to approach the book in a number of different ways. We could have chosen to write it in the third person, thus keeping our personalities out of the material and the illustrations general. We could have chosen to split up the content, with Tim writing certain chapters and Bob writing other chapters. We could have chosen to write most of the material in the third person and occasionally identify certain portions by stating, "This is Tim speaking," or "This is Bob speaking." For the most part, we decided to write the illustrations in the first person and much of the text in third person. We chose this method because the illustrations actually happened to either Tim or Bob. By changing the names of the people in the illustrations and not identifying who was speaking, we have kept the power of the event while protecting the confidentiality of the individuals and the counselors. We felt that a first-person account of a real-life event would be a more powerful form of presentation. It was our hope that this style of writing would keep the flow of thought running smoothly, and that the reader would sense the reality of true-life events. If you as the reader would be more comfortable seeing either Tim or Bob as the author alone, then proceed with that concept in mind. We both are in agreement with the thoughts presented and would speak with a unified mind. We hope this book will be a benefit to you. We encourage you to share these concepts with your family and friends. 1. Anger. Everyone's problem. "I hate you, I hate you, I hate you," said Amber to her husband, Evan. "Why don't you just shut your mouth? All you ever do is moan and groan. You make me sick," was Evan's quick retort. Evan and Amber had come into my office for some marital counseling. Like countless other couples, they were expressing the anger and hostility that lay deep within them. Henry Brandt, one of the world's most respected biblical counselors, has suggested that anger is involved in 80 to 90% of all counseling. I would have to agree. Marital conflict abounds in our society. Divorce is on the rise and is a source of anger for many. Countless arguments revolve around visitation rights of parents. Some parents have become so angry that they have even kidnapped their own children so their spouse cannot have any contact. One of the biggest problems in second marriages is children from the first marriage. Arguments frequently flare up over discipline and child-rearing techniques. Alimony also creates anger. I read in the newspaper about a man who paid his alimony payments in nickels. Another man, a cement truck driver, was so mad at his former wife that he got even with her in a unique manner. Rolling down her car window, he filled the car with cement while it was parked in front of her house. One study indicated that 80% of couples who verbally abuse each other ended up in physical combat. Each year, 2 million women are beaten by their husbands. Approximately 40% of all women murdered were killed by their husbands. As an interesting side note, one study of male batterers indicated that the men were not out of control. Their heart rates even decreased during the times when they were emotionally upset. The study seemed to indicate that the men got violent on purpose in order to produce fear and to control their wives. A minister asked that I counsel his wife for an unrepentant affair she was having. Expecting to see a siren walk into my office, I was surprised to find a gracious, soft-spoken woman of 45 who told this story through her tears. Her husband was a dynamic minister, very successful in his church and admired by everyone. But he had one sin she could not excuse. He was an angry, hostile man whom she considered overly strict.